وآل محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق سيد المرسلين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد صلى الله على محمد وآل محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين، روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء. أما بعد, continuing and inshallah ending today with our topic of contemplating on the Holy Quran, considering which I had mentioned that there are 6 stages, but in order to give space and give time for other topics as well, we will mention 5 of these 6 stages inshallah in a simplified format. Upon that, start working. Okay. We mentioned that considering stage 3, we identify the difference by reading more than one verse and similar verses, to be more accurate. We read similar verses that resemble each other. For example, one verse may say, Inna Allah Alimun Qadir, for example. Or another verse would say, Inna Allah Azizun Dhu Intiqam. Why would there be a difference between this verse and that other verse, or this phrase and that other phrase? We should have to ponder why. So first of all, what we do is we check the meaning and then we ponder over the reason. Why is it not working properly? Okay. If we continue with regards to stage 3, actually, one of the examples is this. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, considering Nabi Isa alayhi salam, I would like for you to focus. I would like for you to focus over here. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وَإِذْ قَالَ عِيسَى ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ يَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ إِلَى آخِرِ الْآيَةِ, to the end of the verse. When Isa alayhi salam, son of Maryam, said, O Bani Israel, until the end of the verse. If we look at Nabi Musa salamullahi alayhi, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ يَا قَوْمِ لِمَا تُؤْذُونَنِي, until the end of the verse. So the first question, could you please put it up, please? Jazakumullah. Why is the lineage of Nabi Isa alayhi salam mentioned a lot in the Quran, whereas Nabi Musa alayhi salam's lineage is not mentioned? Okay. So the first answer, the first possibility is this: because Musa alayhi salam came after Isa. Secondly, because Nabi Isa alayhi salam was raised to the heavens. Thirdly, because Nabi Isa alayhi salam has more miracles. Or fourthly, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is emphasizing that Isa alayhi salam is a human being. Fourth one? Ahsantum. Fourth one is the correct answer. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions the lineage of Nabi Isa alayhi salam in most verses that Isa is mentioned in. The Prophet Isa is mentioned in. Why? Because He wants to emphasize the fact that he is a human being. Whereas with regards to Nabi Musa, we don't have that same problem, that same shubha, that same doubt, that is he a human being or is he not, or is he son of God? So upon that, there is no necessity for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to emphasize the fact that he is a human being. No one differs considering this fact. If you can go back to the slides, please. Okay. So, then this is to emphasize the fact that Isa alayhi salam is a human being, and this is an indirect response to those beliefs that consider him as being superhuman, or he's not a human being, being above a human being. Another verse which I would also like the dear brothers and sisters to also think about, and this is also a question that you can find in the Mentimeter. In this, again, focusing on the position. Normally, we would say, we worship you. Correct or not? We worship you. Over here in Surah Al-Fatiha, every day we recite so many times, it is you who we worship. The question is, why is the pronoun you? It is you who we worship mentioned in the beginning, even though it should be na'buduka. Na'buduka or na'budu ilahaka is mentioned in another ayah. When the sons of Nabi Yaqub alayhi salam were with him upon his deathbed, Yaqub asks his sons, who do you worship? I want to make sure that you remain on Tawheed, on Islam. Okay? So upon that, they tell their father that, oh father, na'budu ilahak, we worship your ilah, we worship your God. It's not that it is your God we worship. No, they say it in the normal way. So why is it in Surah Al-Fatiha it is mentioned this way? Okay? Why is it mentioned this way? So please put the possibilities and the problem answers up. Come on. What's going on? Okay, in Surah Al-Fatiha. It is you who we worship and not we worship you. 4 possibilities. Because he does not need our worship, the first possibility. To show we worship him only. Number 3, because he is the all-powerful, or in order to show that we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 4th, any other possible answers? Because he does not need our worship, we only worship him, he is all-powerful, or to show them that we love him. Ahsantum. 2, to show him that we worship him only. So this restricts and limits the fact that we do not worship anybody else. It is only subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we worship. If we can go back to the slides, please. Okay? And this true servitude, yani to be a true bandah, a true servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a person who considers that Allah is the All High, when we speak to him, we change the sentence structure in a way that we would mention him first and then mention ourselves. So one of the world leaders, there is no necessity to mention his name. His sentences in English are mostly wrong. Okay, his sentences in English are mostly wrong. I think you all know who I'm talking about. So what does he do? He tries to break the sentence structure of a normal English sentence in order to end with a word that is really, really big, that is really, really striking. But he breaks the entire grammatical structure of the sentence. This sentence is not broken. It's correct in English. Okay? So we mentioned Allah before out of respect for Allah and also to show that we only worship Him. Okay? It is you who we worship. It is, for instance, someone may ask you which perfume you like. You would tell them, it's that perfume that I like. Correct? That has a sort of emphasis. In comparison to, I like this perfume, it does not have that same strength. Okay? If we go to stage 4, stage 4 is to look at the outer appearance of a word. Is it singular or plural? Is it masculine or feminine? Or is it in an active voice or in a passive voice? Okay? I will give you an example with regards to this verse. Now again, this is another verse for us to vote on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions this and we all love this verse and we hear about it a lot on the minbar, and I'm sure that a lot of us have not thought about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون. That truly your guardian is only Allah, His Apostle, and the faithful who maintain the prayer and give a zakat while they bow. Question, why is the guardian singular whereas there is Allah, the Holy Prophet, and Imam Ali? All of them, there are 3. Altogether they become 3. Why did he not say truly your guardians with a plural, with an S? Why is it only 1? Kindly vote. Oh, there is some more question. Come on. Oh, they don't give the answers, huh? But no problem. I'll read out the possible possibilities, and I will request the brothers to give me their answer. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Wa ala Muhammad. So the first possibility that is a spelling mistake in the Holy Quran. Secondly, because Allah Azza wa Jal is the strongest amongst them. Okay. Thirdly, okay, yeah, this is the question. Okay. So either it's a spelling mistake, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the strongest, or because Allah is the true guardian, or because He is the first in terms of existence. Allah came first. Allah was always there. He created the Holy Prophet, and then He also created Imam Ali. So which of these answers? Spelling mistake. Allah is the strongest. Allah is the true guardian. Allah is the first. Please, let's listen. Please. Number 3. 3. Any other answers? Ahsantum. Number 3 is correct. Allah is the true guardian. Ahsantum. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So this is something that one should ponder over. Sometimes look at the description. Does it talk about one thing or more than one thing? And does it refer to in the singular form or in the plural form? So the true guardianship is of Allah Azza wa Jal. The Holy Prophet and Imam Ali alayhi salam, their guardianship, their wilayah is taken from the wilayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are not wali by themselves independently. They have control over this entire world. Allah gave that to them. So it is as if the original king is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the true guardian. They are His representatives. Number 5, when I come to ponder over different verses of the Holy Quran, and this should be the simplest, especially when we read the Holy Quran, keep in your mind 2 or 3 topics that you want to see. What does the Holy Quran say about this particular topic? Upon that, I can have many different topics. Al-Maghfirah, Salat, Salah, Salihun, prayers, fasting. With regards to prayers, there are hundreds of verses that are related to Salat in the Holy Quran. Do you know that when the Holy Prophet ﷺ said, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad, that prayers are the pillar of religion. Do you know that a huge portion of the Holy Quran is about prayers? Okay? Now, I'm not trying to be really, to give you like just oratory speech, but first of all, among the ayat that talk about salat, ayat that speak about salat itself, ayat that speak about the time of salat, ayat that speak about wudu, ayat that speak about the adab of salat, khudu', khushu', ayat that speak about salawat al-nawafil, ayat that speak about qunut, ayat that speak about the du'as to be recited in qunut, ayat that speak about ghusl, ayat that speak about dhikr, which is related to salat, ayat that mention some of the names of salat, okay, ayat that talk about the effects of salat. To the extent that today, I know in certain countries in the Muslim world, they have associations just dedicated to salat and the knowledge related and the ma'arif related to salat. So they have study and research centers just based on that. They print material so that the salat of mu'mineen can become better. Timing, they have programs in mosques for children. They teach them wudu, etc. so that their salat can become better. Why? Because salat is the most important thing. When your salah becomes good, when you start to pray, you will not go towards any muharramat, either drugs or any other muharramat, listening to music, whatever. Why? Because that salat, it has that indirect effect on you. Even if you don't want it, it has that effect on you. Once the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he saw a person, sallallahu alaihi Muhammad. So this youth, he was praying in the mosque. So one of the ashab of the Holy Prophet tells him that, Ya Nabi Allah, but this person is a thief, he steals. He said, don't worry. As long as he's coming to the mosque and he's praying, his salat will prevent him from stealing later on. It will affect him later on. If you have any problem in your life, you feel that you are not on Salat al-Mustaqim, trust me, resorting to narcotics or this kind of stuff, what does it give you? What kind of effect? Hallucination? Maybe a few minutes of strength? Do you think that your source, yani all that you can perceive, is just related to such chemicals? Do you know what that soul that you have in you is? Do you know what that soul is? Do you know the fact that with your soul you can perceive ilm al-ghaib, even me and you, even though we are not ma'asum, that we can reach to that level, even living in the UK? Do you know the fact that there are so many things that this soul can perceive, can do? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed Ibrahim salamullah alayhi the malakut of samawat wal ard while he was still here. He gave him so many things. He showed him so many miracles. Arafah, they are able to see. Do you know that when they recite a munajat or a dua or the Holy Quran, that feeling, good feeling of ecstasy, but that good, beautiful feeling that they feel, it's far higher than any chemical effect, far higher. So don't think that all you can feel and you're able to perceive is related to just your body. No, trust me, this is nothing. Your body is temporary, your soul is permanent. And your soul is what even helps you feel what you feel with your body. So imagine if you were to feed your soul. If you were to give it, it's like giving a lamp, giving it electricity and turning it on. Your soul is in need of food. The food that the soul needs is ilm, knowledge, it is ibadah. Knowledge of the Holy Quran that we are seeking today. Ibadah. Listening to the ahadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Reciting salawat, nawafil. So it is actually if I can remember all of the 5 things. Quran, reciting the Holy Quran. Du'as, mustahab salawat in addition to the wajib, of course. Adhkar, like salat ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Have a dhikr special to you, okay? And finally, good deeds like sadaqat, akhlaq, nice akhlaq, a particular help that you may help somebody with. These are the ways to perfection. But trust me, when you do feel this, and I try to emphasize, I'm emphasizing a lot on this, your life will change, your face will brighten, people will respect you. Respect is not bought neither by money or by biceps or anything. Respect comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As we continue, among the different things that you can see and mention, that are mentioned in the Holy Quran, is the fact that the stories of the prophets or fasting. Stories of the Holy Prophets mentioned in the Holy Quran. Of course, today there is religious anthropology, and in other religions like in Christianity and Judaism, they have worked a lot in religious anthropology. To the extent that in Lebanon, I don't remember if I've mentioned in one of the lectures or not, I spent a huge portion of my house of studies in Lebanon. Over there are many maqamat and many shrines related and ascribed to many awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or prophets. And it is said that when the Israelis, they invaded Lebanon, they knew which exact locations the shrines of their prophets were located in, and they went and they would take ziyarat groups to those shrines that me and you don't know, that are maybe not that are mentioned in their hadith and their narrations with different names. Among them is the Prophet Sujud, as he is called in the local tongue in Lebanon, Nabi Sujud, in Tufah region in South Lebanon. His maqam and his shrine is a really old shrine built on the top of a mountain. The shrine of the brother of Nabi Yusuf salamullahi alayhi, Benjamin. And they went, there is a new association over there called by Jama'iyat Qabas. And what they do is they go and they study all of the maqamat that are there, whether Islamic or non-Islamic. They study them, look at all of the stories that are related to them, and they go into religious anthropology. So one of the things that they found, considering the shrine and the grave of Benjamin alayhi salam, is that the grave is not pointed toward Mecca, so that we can say, now this is just a distortion of history. No, his grave is actually pointed toward Bayt al-Maqdis. And that was how the Sharia was during the time of the prophets of Bani Israel. That was the Sharia that was. So all of this, sometimes we find that they are mentioned, their stories are mentioned in a very summarized way in the Holy Quran. What do me and you do? We can read and gather all the verses maybe related to one prophet. Then we can go to our narrations in English books, etc. And we can try to research a little bit more. Ahl al-Bayt alayhim salam, they are mentioned in the Holy Quran. Psychological conditions, khawf, fear or happiness, sa'ada, etc. Everything, waswasa, they are referred to in the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran talks about the nafs. It's not that it doesn't. No, the Holy Quran talks about nafs. My teacher in Qom, he says that in modern psychology right now, what is talked about considering the nafs is the actions and the conditions of the nafs, but not the reality of the nafs. So it talks about what the nafs does and the conditions that it passes by. But it does not talk about what the nafs actually is, what the different powers, the powers of the nafs are, and where the nafs is able to go. This is found in the Holy Quran in our Islamic literature. This is something for people to ponder on. Dividing verses. Currently there is a new research that was written in Qom by one of my friends, considering relations between Muslims and non-Muslims according to the Holy Quran. And it's a really, really beautiful topic. One of the ayat related to this matter is this, the ayat of dialogue between Muslims and non-Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, قل يا أهل الكتاب تعالوا إلى كلمة سواء بيننا وبينكم ألا نعبد إلا الله ولا نشرك به شيئا ولا يتخذ بعضنا بعضا أربابا من دون الله فإن تولوا فقولوا اشهدوا بأننا مسلمون. Say, O people of the book, come to a common word between us and you, that we will worship none but Allah, and we will not ascribe any partner to Him, and that some of us will not take others as lords beside Allah. But if they turn away and say no, say that bear witness, we have submitted to Allah, we are Muslims. What can we learn from this verse? Firstly, this verse emphasizes the principle of Tawheed, that is the basis of Islam. Okay, I'll go back to the verse. Say, Kalimatin sawa baynana wa baynakum, to a common word, that we will not worship except Allah. So this is the first basis of any dialogue, that we worship one Allah. We worship a common God. So this is the first area and domain of something, of there being something common between us that we can build upon. Okay. Secondly, we should not do shirk. Shirk can be in two levels. One, when somebody considers their own desires and their whims to be more important than what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls to. My nafs and my desires. أَفَرَأَيْتَ مَنِ اتَّخَذَ إِلَهَهُ هَوَاهُ. And did you see he who took his God, his desires as his God? Okay. Secondly, idols and other false gods. Type. Upon also, that is not only it, we also should have another basis, that me and you or other party, when we come together, we should not take another party, that is to say any transgressor, any tyrant, oppressor, him to be my ideal, my God, that I listen to whatever he says, even if it goes against what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded. Do something bad to fulan, okay, I'll do it. Why? Because the leader told me to. I'm going to do it because he told me to. Or because I belong to a particular political group or party or social group or whatever. No. We come together and we build our relations based upon what Allah tells us. In another verse, okay, I think I may have not mentioned the verse itself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran, He talks about إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب. Correct? That truly in the creation of the heavens and the earth and the alternation, the change between night and day are ayat, are signs for those who have intellect. Over here we can find that there are 2 points that Allah is trying to tell us. There is 2 ways to prove the existence of Allah. First of all, look at the outside. Allah has created something. There are the heavens and the earth, the skies. If you look at the infinite universe that is continually expanding at faster than the speed of light, to the extent that it is said that the universe, according to astronomers and astrophysicists, they say that the universe right now, the observable universe, is 94 billion light years wide. And that which cannot be observed is 127 septillion times more than that. 127 times 94 billion light years. And all of this started when? 14 or 15 billion years ago. So the speed of expansion is far more. Allah created everything. And this may be a sama dunya, the first sky. What about higher than that? But so the first thing that we can look at when we want to point to the fact that there is a creator, look at the effect. The effect outside, that is this universe, tells you that there is a cause, there is someone who created. Secondly, is the fact that look at the alternation. You see the motion and alternation of night and day? This tells me that He did not only create. No, He is also in control. So He is also present. He also he exercises power and His design. If you say that I have a watch, okay, just for clarification purposes, what does a watch show you? It tells me, first of all, that there is a maker of the watch. Secondly, when I look at the hands moving, that tells me that this watch, it moves according to the design that this designer or this maker had in mind. Okay? So when I look at this, I look at the perfect universe. Firstly, I pointed to the existence of Allah. Now I point to the traits of Allah. That He is the most knowledgeable. He built the atom. He created the atom, molecules, neutrons, etc. And even more higher and bigger existences. Huge planets, black holes, white holes, according to what is now said as well, etc. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala planned and created all of this with His unlimited might, His knowledge and His wisdom. And everything is based on harmony. Everything is based on a perfect system. If you look at the eco structure, for instance, if you look at wildlife, everything is based on a particular way that everything gets its sustenance. Everything is in its right place. All of this, it points to the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Hakim, etc. This is called categorization. So I take some of the verses that talk about one topic, I put them together. I read them later on, I try to look at tafsir, and then I build upon that. I will give a quick summary then. We started by stage 1, we talked about meaning of a word. I choose a word, I look at its root word, like Hasan, Ihsan, Hasana. I look at other words from the same root word. Original meaning in the dictionary it means a mountain, a smooth mountain that doesn't have any cracks. Apply to all the similar words and I take it back with me. Okay? The reason behind the selection of a word, I read verses, for example, that look similar to each other. Then I find any differences. Like يخلق and يفعل, considering Nabi Isa alayhi salam يخلق, Nabi Zakaria and Nabi Yahya يفعل. I check the meaning of these 2 words and then I start to ponder over the reason. The position of a word, I read similar verses and identify where there is a difference of position of a certain phrase or an addition, like the lineage of Isa alayhi salam. Secondly, I ponder over the reason by asking the position based on Arabic grammar, where possible, or I ask an alim about it. Fourthly, outer appearance, is it singular, plural? Should it be singular or plural? Is it okay, or should there be another? And should it be, for example, plural, or should it be singular in that particular case, that particular sentence or ayat? Is it active, passive, feminine, masculine? Finally, I categorize it according to the different topics. So I read the Holy Quran, choose a couple of topics. I do research considering a particular word, like al-afu, for example. I note down the verses. I also compare them and read them all together for more interesting details. Some necessary references that you may need when you do tadabbur, of course, the Holy Quran. Secondly, a Quran search app or tanzil.net. Arabic and English, and Arabic dictionary, if you know Arabic dictionary. Books of tafsir that are available. These two books, you can use Google Translate, that they will translate the pages for you. And if that's not possible, ask, of course, after asking Maulana Google, you can ask your resident alim or malim or somebody else to assist you. This is called tadabbur of the Holy Quran. This is the month of the Holy Quran, Rabi'ul Quran, the spring of the Holy Quran. So we have to recite, but not like a parrot. We should recite and try to learn something. If you learn one or two verses, you will have done a lot for yourself, because there are certain kinds, like I said, of knowledge that are not directly related to application, but they are effective on your soul, on your nafs, and they will help you to gain that divine light of the Holy Quran. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Sallallahu ala.
Today's iftar is being sponsored by Bande Khuda. You're requested to recite